Hi, welcome to the Stockin' It Zombies. I'm Amy, also known as Jay Nitma.
And I'm Megan, also known as Just Run It. And this is episode 73 of the Stockin' It Zombies podcast.
Wow.
I know, right? IKR. That's how you know. How I was like, who texted me that the other day? And I was like, what are you talking about? And I was like, oh, I know, right?
I knew, right?
Right.
Seriously.
Oh my God. Totes.
So, how was your week?
It was good. I was just relaying to you that I'm not getting a great deal of sleep. My youngest, just before we go on vacation, is now getting up in the middle of the night for some reason. And then my two younger children have figured out they can get up, or my two oldest children have figured out they can get up and play Mario Kart in the morning.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like pre-going about their ways. And so,
yeah,
my life is, my husband came home last night and stomped around and his phone is making noises in the middle of the night and I just did not get a good night of sleep. So if you see these bags under my eyes, that would be why.
Okay.
And that was why I was going to wear my jammies.
I shamed her into putting pants on.
Go put your big girl pants on.
That was not my intention, but...
Yes. What else? I've been kind of on a guilty pleasures kick lately.
Okay.
Like...
watching some bad
Glee.
TV. Oh, okay.
Yes, watching Glee, eating Nutella. Ooh. Justin Timberlake album did get bought at Target, so I got the 2 extra songs.
Interesting.
Yes, I felt like such a lame-o. I was like, I went and bought it, you know, it was like, I need a teenage child to hand this to and be like, you go buy that. It's like the reverse of when you were younger and you needed to be old enough to buy certain things.
Now you need to be young enough, but he's not that.
He isn't, but at
It's
the
not
same
like
time,
you're buying Selena Gomez or something.
Or
Or Bieber.
Justin Bieber, yep.
Yeah, speaking of child independence, so my son started bathing himself. And
Ooh.
yeah, with very little supervision. We go in there like once it seems like he's started doing stuff and check on the like water levels, make sure it's not like up to the brim and things like that. Discovered today I was bathing my daughter. Apparently it's been a while since I've had bath duty. And I pick up the soap that I just bought a couple weeks ago and it's like empty. And I'm like, oh, that's weird. And I grab the other one, I bought them on the same day. Pick it up, it's water. It's not soap anymore. You can tell that.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh God. It was like instant, like, get up here, young man, right now. Had the whole speech about how much soap is the right amount of soap, and it's like, oh. Palm to forehead for mom. I did not remember that you have to explain these things to people.
Well, that, and who knows, maybe he just got a little crazy on one of the bath nights and like used it all, and now he's just been pretending for how long that he's using it, right? I mean, you're assuming that he was overusing it daily. Maybe it was just one shebang.
Well, I asked him, how much have you been using? And these are like family size, so they're like larger. And they have a significant opening in them, and he pantomimed couple squirts. Because so his hand is probably covered in soap. Oh well. Yep. You know, good thing it was swab, a couple bucks. No big deal. But, oh man. I told him that if this happens again, he owes me money. Wow. I'm serious. Well, it's just one of those things, lessons learned, right? I need him to know that it has consequences, more than mom speeches. He hates them, so they are a deterrent.
Oh, yeah.
Mom speeches are the worst.
I've been totally, like, I turned into my parents this week, like, you were listening to me. You were not looking at me when I'm talking to you. And pay attention to the mom speech that is going on. Yes. Yeah, there's that. Looking forward to a whole jam-packed week full of kids next week. Some of it in a car.
How exciting.
So exciting.
We have something similar, but not quite the journey that you do.
Yep.
We're going quite a bit further.
Yes.
But, yeah, that was kind of the interesting point of the week. I mean, it's been a fun week. I haven't had much to complain about.
I do complain, don't get me wrong. There are things in life and I'm like, But yeah, in general, you gotta find the things in life that make you happy and kind of cling to those, because otherwise you could spend your whole life being unhappy, and that's not a good thing either. So,
Yep.
Lots to be happy for, even if it's just that you love the yarn that you're knitting with, or you made a stellar supper, or it's getting brighter out every day. My middle child,
I love that.
Mom, why are we eating supper just earlier and earlier every night? I'm like, no, sweetie, the clock is tricking you. We changed times, and now we are not. Yeah, the sun is staying up longer.
Okay.
That is the week.
Got any FOs?
It's the Amy show this week. I have zip zero
I have
zilch.
one FO.
Okay.
But, so I have my For Good hat.
For good. It's beautiful.
Out of Handspun. This is a club shipment from Cloud Lover. And it was Rambouillet in the Dead Meadow colorway. So get a good spinning look at that one. And I put my Pinatumig buttons on it.
Said it right.
And these are... I've already forgotten. Sorry.
The size?
No, I was going to say what tree they were, but I don't remember. Sorry.
Very pretty. I like it. And I like how the buttons complement the color.
Yeah. I specifically picked the kind with a lot of, like,
Flecking.
age rings or whatever you want to call them, so that it would show off like the Handspun did. And, so Rambouillet, very springy. And I don't know if I had anything to do with that in my spinning, because I don't know enough about spinning to do anything with intention. So I can probably do thick or thin, not thick and thin, but thick, like, oh, I want to purposely spin this thicker. I could probably do that. But there's no like, oh, I want to make sure that this has a certain amount of twist so that it's springy. So
very soft.
So yeah, I am really enjoying this. And so this is my mom's For Good. And I have 2 more For Goods to knit before I'm done. There's something to be said. You were talking about how, like, when you were knitting for other people, how it just flew off the needles. There is something to be said about that. I am pretending that this is for somebody else so that it can fly off the needles. Or I have, in the back of my head, maybe this would make a good present for somebody. Because, the things that I've been knitting for other people have gone really fast. Yeah. And have been really enjoyable. And
in general, let's take it back a step. If you were knitting, you don't often knit sweaters for other people.
This is true.
That's why those don't go as fast.
This is true. I have knit, for my husband.
But shawls are a big undertaking.
Yes.
Socks are a big undertaking. But yeah, a hat would probably fly whether or not it was for somebody else or not.
That's true. But it was definitely more fun thinking about how it was going to be for somebody else.
You kind of knit the love in, right?
It's from my mommy. Yes. It has to be knit with love, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So that was the one FO.
Okay.
Did you want to talk about your whip?
No, I've got more than one. This is the sweater that never ends. It goes on and on, my friends. One day I started knitting it, not knowing what it was. So last week, forever just because this is the sweater that never ends. So we had a very interesting conversation about this yesterday. about fingering weight garments.
Okay.
Do you remember the analogy that was put forth?
I am blanking. You're putting me on the spot
Or
here.
you don't have to bring it up. But I compared it to being pregnant.
Oh, that's right.
You kind of forget, like, you know, after I got done with my olive, I'm like, I am never knitting a fingering weight jumper ever again, right? So it's like after you have the baby, you're like, I am, you know, the labor is hard and horrible. And then the kid turns, like, it gets past the terrible twos, which is where my baby is right now, right? Like, threw the toy across the room, and now, I can't have the toy. You just threw it across the room. Anyway, get past the terrible twos, and there's just these wonderful, perfect children, and then you're like, oh, I want to have another baby. Oh, I want to knit another fingering weight jumper. Because they're just so wonderful. They're wonderful when you wear them, and they're just fantastic, and I love them, you know. And then you're like, why did I ever cast on the fingering weight jumper? So, the one bright spot in all of this is that the Miracle Jen BFL is fantastic. Like
it's going to be a short sleeve.
Yes. Well, the bottom up has a lot to do with it, right?
Sure.
Like I am knitting the most stitches that I will be knitting right now for forever. Whereas the top down, you generally start out small and then you kind of work your way up. It's kind of like a shawl, right? Like it grows and you slowly work your way into having all of those stitches. Well, no, this is all of them from the get-go, right? So I had the welted, this welted panel, and it worked out really well. I didn't alternate in the welted panels. I cast on with one ball, I cast on with the other, and then I joined them in the round and started alternating skeins there.
Oh, okay.
And I don't see a huge difference.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think you would with the patterning and the. It looks a little camo.
Really? I don't think so.
You don't think it looks camo? You're not seeing the camouflage?
Okay.
But I'm okay with it.
No.
Again, this is the Boardwalk by Heidi Kermeyer. It is a fingering weight jumper that comes up and it's got a neat little mitered piece here that kind of looks like woodworking and some short sleeve. It's a layering piece. I looked through a lot of finished object photos and there were very few where the person was modeling it just with that, like nothing underneath. All of them have like a a collared shirt. And we misspoke last week. So yeah, I do have a lot to say about my few things. The bust circumference is correct. You cast on down here and you knit for quite a ways with 4 inches of positive ease, and then you decrease 2 inches. It's A-line. I'm not a big A-line fan, so I'm not going to decrease that 2 inches. Then this also has the underarm stitches on it as well, right?
Oh,
so
okay.
for the sleeves. So taking all of that into account, the pattern was correct. It just was ginormous. And I know that out in the threads, Miss Taj Balaz said that her welted was ginormous as well, her welted portion. And this looks like it'll be a good size. I mean, I don't get the full stretch here because I'm running out of needles, but it'll be a nice. Again, I measured it, and I swear 2 days ago I had 6 inches, and I still have 6 inches, and I've put hours and hours and hours into it. But that is that. And then I also picked my shawl back up. I had to play some mind games. So this is a spoiler, but I had 2 of these shawls on the needles, and I kind of told myself I've got 2 clues and 2 shawls, and it's so overwhelming. I can't do it. So I chose the one that had the needles still attached, and picked it back up and knit the 2 clues. So I am all caught up on this shawl, and I really, once I picked it up and not made myself, it's not like I'm punishing myself or that this is cleaning the bathroom by any stretch of the imagination, but it was fun once I had picked it back up and gotten past the mental block of I had too much to do on it, and really enjoy the 3 stripe section here and then the offsets.
Okay.
Kind of Adidas or Adidas. and that is in my Girl Cave bag. And then I was just telling Amy, I have a very boring for you guys April lined up. So I need to tease a couple of people here. This is the project for Phoenix Fire. You can't see it. Here, I'll open it up and Amy can peek in. You guys can see it. She is my swap partner for the zombie apocalypse swap that is going on. And then this one isn't a secret. This one is in my Airlane bag, Apple bag. And it is, I'm going to be doing with the Shawl and Gals, the Bacona. And this is Gale's Art Sinful Base, which I tried to make into a kaleidoscope. Yeah, tried to make it into something, and it was just too much. And it's a very squishy, soft MCN, and highly variegated. But I think that'll look really nice in this shape of shawl. But I don't know how quickly I will be getting to it, because I got lots of other secret knitting. I've got, yeah, I've got pattern design, 2 patterns that I'm currently working on, and I'm designing and writing up, and then another secret, super secret project that some of you guys might know about. So, yeah, hopefully I'll have something to show on air.
Yeah, I was like, I'm going to be like carrying the show.
You totally are going to have to carry the show. You're involved in a couple of those, right?
Yes, I have secret knitting for the swap as well. I don't want to spoil anything.
Yeah.
And I'm under no obligation to knit.
Yeah, that's true.
But I have decided that, ooh, that yarn jumps out at me, and ooh, that pattern jumps out at me. So I've made a decision, and I know what I'm going to knit, and it's going to be fun, so woohoo.
Yeah. I mean, and the fallback plan is always like, if you don't get her done, then you weren't required to knit, right? I mean,
right.
And hopefully you'll see them at the Knitpocalypse. Maybe you can just be like, this was intended for you, but didn't make it in time.
Well, and if you think about, are we exchanging at the Knitpocalypse, or no, it's before.
Yep.
So you could just be like, and you'll get the rest when I see you in person.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yep. Yep.
So,
those were my works in progress.
Okay. I will talk about my shawl. It has been picked up again. Huzzah!
Huzzah!
I got through most of Clue 3. And I can see what Clue 4 is.
Oh, sorry.
No, I knew
Spoiler
already.
for you.
Spoiler!
No.
I was in the threads the day of, seeing if anybody had started it yet.
Peeker.
I am. I surprises, like, I do like them, but at the same time, I was so far behind already. I was like, I just want to see what the next Clue looks like.
Yeah.
And
the design is super intuitive, and
yes.
it's really graphic. I mean, you got to give
very
the name.
graphic.
You got to give the name some props there. I've enjoyed knitting it, and I thought the instructions were all really.
I would say, yeah, absolutely, 100% a fun knit.
Mm-hmm.
Just, yeah, I haven't had any part of it where I was just like, sigh.
Yeah.
You know, like, I had other things that I really wanted to work on, so that's why last week I didn't work on it so much. But I'm thinking that it'll be easy to get through
there's only
3 and 4,
mm-hmm.
so the end of 3 and 4, and then the one last Clue.
Mm-hmm.
And I only have a little bit of yarn, so I don't know when the expansion comes. Is that
the last Clue?
Last Clue.
Yep.
So I will find out in the last Clue how much bigger my shawl is going to be.
Yeah, the one thing that I can say that I really like is that there are very few, like, huge pearl back rows where it's all purling going back. I mean,
yeah.
it's got the garter texture.
Yeah, the garter
through
texture
through most of it.
Yep.
I mean, so that makes it enjoyable in my book.
Oh, yes. And again, this was kind of just a function of the yarn that I picked, but I like that my pop color, my orange, is a little bit thinner than my other one.
Mm-hmm. I also like that it changes colors a little bit too.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of gives it like a marbled
Yep.
on top of a solid effect.
So I'm enjoying that. And let's see. The hat. This is my monkey sock. My final monkey sock is almost there. I would say it's about 5 more stripes, to the very tip of the toe. So I'm excited. That'll be, that's a BFL.
Dancing Dog Dye Works.
Yep. And yeah, I can't wait until they're done and I can get my next stripey yarn out and wound up.
That's right. I'll have to do that in April as well.
And before I start knitting on that again. And then I did 2 repeats of my hand spun shawl, which is the Diersta shawl. It's like I had to bring my brain into German, and it wasn't working.
Afrikaans or something like that. It's not German.
Oh,
true story.
Oh. Google Translator thought it was German.
No.
I apologize.
No, that's fine. I don't claim to be cultured in any way. I'm very uncultured.
I apologize to Mel then, the designer.
Yeah.
I don't know if she's watching, but if she is, I apologize. Mm-hmm. I think I said it right though.
Yes, you did. I believe so. Again, I would not look to me for any pronunciation.
So I
authority.
So I just put 2 more in there, and I don't know that you're going to be able to see the effect that it has on camera. You can kind of see a ripple in there, but I think once I get the minimum number of repeats in, you're going to really see it.
Cool.
But you can kind of see it does do a little, like a wave in there. So that's that.
Bootimus.
And this is what I spent the majority of my time on. So if you thought that looked like a lot of knitting, that was the bust. That was, this was the...
Looked like a lot of knitting to me. I've been working on the same thing and have it measure the same.
So this is back and side 1
woot woot,
of my sabbatical.
So soft.
And I just went ahead and joined them at the top. I'll block them as, one big flat piece before I seam them up with the sleeves. But yeah, I was able to join it a little bit with, tacks and whatnot down the side so that I could try it on and stretch and see. And that's going to have the collar on it. So, anyway.
That's fantastic.
And then I got this far on side number 2.
Sorry, the needle was coming for me. Flipped around.
So this is the right side, and I am starting the decreases, and I have to put that many more in. Kind of helps me keep track. I'm like, oh, look at that.
You mentioned that, and then also you take them from the bottom as you're increasing, right? Which is kind of smart.
Yep, so hopefully that'll help me keep it, like, oh, look, just one more. Oh, look, I don't know, keep it flying, as it were, so that, because that's kind of how I motivate myself. Besides, because the pattern repeats is like a 28 row pattern repeat, that's a lot. But the decreases happen like every 8 rows, I think. So it's like, okay, I get to place a marker. Yay! Okay. And then you just keep going, and you're like, hey, 4 more rows and I can place another marker. Keep going.
Yeah.
So,
and again, I don't mean to be complaining about this. See, I'm trying to make it all about me again. But that's my issue with this, right? Like, there's no milestone other than inches. And so you just keep measuring, and you're like, this was 6 inches 20 hours ago.
Maybe you need to throw a marker in close to the top so that you can actually visually, like, oh, look, it really has grown an inch. Like, oh, it really has grown 6 rows.
Yeah, at this point, it just seems like I'm trying to swallow the whole cow, right? Rather than like cut it into pieces.
Yep.
It just, I have no like motivational, oh, I want to get another repeat in. Or I guess I've done too many self-stripey socks or lace repeat knits recently that this mindless, miles of stockinette in the round just seems like, so yeah. I've done a lot of planning and putting this down and doing designing rather than knit it. Like, I'm finding excuses.
She's zombifying her.
Finding excuses not to knit something that I'm really excited about. But, yeah. Maybe I need to pick up my Amy's Punky Plum worsted and start a garment in that
flying,
and have it like,
woo, fly off the needle.
Woohoo! But, so those are all your works in progress?
Yeah, those are all the active ones. The Twigs and Willows didn't see any love, but again, I was like, this one was like getting my mojo. I'm awesomely excited about it right now. I gotta keep going.
Awesomely excited. This is awesome.
Yes. Right. Replace the word in my brain.
I forget what they say on the radio. It's not this is awesome.
I think it is.
Oh, okay.
This is
Sorry. Again, I'm really bad with words too. My husband went out and found the because I was singing the completely wrong words for that Sugar Rush song. Do you know the words?
We do not have Wreck-It Ralph in our house.
How do you live?
My kids, we went to the movie theater. One walked out because he didn't like it. He was scared or something. And the other one put her face on her hand and went, I'm bored.
My kids love it. It's like we have to watch it every day. Can we watch Wreck-It Ralph? Can we watch Wreck-It Ralph? So it's SUGAR, jump into your racing car, say Sugar Rush, Sugar Rush. And it just got stuck in my head. But my husband went out and found the YouTube video of the song with the words, the karaoke version, so you could see the actual words. The rest of the song is in Japanese, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was just saying SUGAR, jumping cars and sugar rush. I didn't know what the words were, so I'm not good. Pronunciation and lyrics, generally not an expert in that field. I will not be teaching a breakout session at the Knitpocalypse on either of those things.
The Megan way of pronouncing words.
What do you think that's how I would say it, is exactly how you think that you should say it, because that's how I say things. Anyway, you have acquisitions. I have none.
Oh, well, you have one, I see.
Oh, yes.
What was I going to say? I was just going to say, no, our house is full of TV shows right now. We would rather watch Scooby-Doo, The New Adventures, 2013 baby, where, Daphne and Fred might get married, and, I don't know. There's just a lot of different things in there.
We just watched the last Sherlock, me and my husband. Speaking of,
wow. Real current there.
It's going to come back. I got to see what happens.
I love that show.
I do too.
I have it on DVD.
Well, I guess I could have borrowed it from you rather than watching it through Amazon Prime streaming.
Sorry.
Yep, that's fine. Just hoard all of your
my British TV.
Purchases, acquisitions.
So I made a Webs order, and I had I had a lot of when you've made a lot of orders throughout 6 or 7 weeks.
I think I can relate to that.
Yes. And then all of a sudden they start showing up one a day in 1 week, and you're just like, I swear to God, I didn't just go out and buy all this stuff today.
Generally, mine all arrive on the same day, and my husband makes a big yarn tower for me and goes, why did you buy all of this? I said, I swear, one of them's a club shipment, and the other one I ordered 5 weeks ago, and then this other one came and I didn't. Yeah, they all gang up on me at the same time.
Yeah. So it's just really weird. So so I got
Weird or fantastic?
I will talk about the loveliness around my neck last. But I got my Into the World Club shipment for March 2013.
Is this your last one? Because I think you said
This is my last one ever. Well, club shipment that
I've heard that before.
No, I mean, like, when I stopped the payments, she said that I would be getting a March one, and then that would be my
you
last.
must have speculated that the next month's one or something, because I swear you've said that this is your last Into the World several times.
And again, I think it was one of those, I thought it was my last one, but then she wrote me to say that no, I was paid up through March.
I can stop at any time.
Fine.
Sorry, I'm just giving you a hard time.
So I thought that this one was really cute.
Yeah, it's kind of a dusky rose.
Yeah. I think it will be very pretty spun up. It's very different from what I've been getting from her thus far. So it was kind of a, what do you want to call that? Just a pleasant surprise. I was like, oh, well, this is different. Because everything to this far has been on the blues, you know, I have purples, I don't know, just no pinks. There were some brighter shipments, but yeah, this one's definitely a muted shipment.
Woolworth Silk is from the podcast I've watched where people spin. That seems like a nice blend for spinners,
Yes.
right?
Yes, I will really enjoy this. This will be a lot of fun. So that just one that came, and then I had a Webb's order. So I bought a bunch of Hempathy.
Empathy.
And my
Amy has a dress knit out of Hempathy.
I do.
A dress, peeps. A dress.
And it is wonderful. And I also have a Gemini.
That's right. Stripey.
Yeah.
That's it.
And I think that those are the two that are with Hempathy. I have another hemp one, but it wasn't Hempathy brand. So I bought these colors, and they're going to make a coral with...
It's going to be gradiated?
Yeah, I'm going to try to gradiate it.
Cool.
Or I'm going to try to change the stripes in a way to make it gradiated. So the most that I have color-wise is this charcoal, and that'll be at the bottom, and these white and blues will be kind of striping gradually more up at the top. But it's basically a tank, but I'm going to be able to make it tunic length. So leggings length.
Yeah, the pattern itself is pretty... A lot of people have commented that it ends up being tunic length. Because the pattern, you knit the yoke, it's yoked, and then you pick up stitches and do some like rouging here.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're balancing out a very deep bias at the end.
Okay,
And
yep.
so it ends up being really long. Like mine is fairly long, and I didn't actually complete all of the unbiasing rows.
Okay.
So, well, I don't think that's giving away too much of the pattern. I mean, it's not
No.
stitched. I think you could look at the...
One of my charcoals is missing. Hopefully that's just at home, sitting on the floor. Because when I packed up to go, I was like,
Max, did you steal the charcoal?
Yeah,
He tried to eat my knitting needles earlier.
it's not wool or knitting needles.
I don't know what's the thought process behind. Anyway,
So this might be a little bit of a tell, but Megan said that one of her patterns that she's designing might go well with Road to China Light 2 skeins.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to throw these in my cart so that I might be able to knit that up.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very pleased with my purchase, and they are so soft.
That's what my autumn's end is out of, and I have 1.8 skeins left of that.
Okay. But I
Almost
just,
2.
I mean, the color subtle
Mm-hmm.
variation is really cool. And if you've never seen it in person, it is a really cool
It
sight.
kind of gives almost a shimmer to it, right? I mean,
Yeah.
because
There's
the light and the
a
dark
light and dark that are in the twist.
are, yeah. But
So
not
you-
barber poling. They're
No.
close enough that they're, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's not. Yeah, it's not barber pulling. But if you, I don't know, if you pull open the skein a little bit, you can go, oh, there's a lot of dark in there, and oh, wow, you know, I don't know, it's just really cool.
Yes, and it's very
a
beautiful,
different
soft base.
Different technique.
I love it a base.
Love it a bit.
Love it a base.
So, and some of the secret yarn came with the web sorter. So we have that, and then
and if you're interested in the secret project, I can hook you up.
Well, yeah, you could, like, what the heck are you talking about, Megan? They'd be like, okay, well, here's kind of the 411 on it.
Yes.
So here to talk about my lovely stuff. Let's see, where's the tag? This is Highland Handmaid's Mountain Laurel Lace yarn. This is 70% baby alpaca and 30% cultivated silk. And 800 yards of silk, or lace weight.
We just got done doing MCSs, right?
Yep.
So this is without the M for
Well, it's
the
alpaca.
merino. Yeah, no, but yeah. I was thinking, what was I thinking of? With the alpaca in it? An ACS? An ACA? No, an MCA? Anyway. For some reason I was thinking we just got done knitting with alpaca. And I did, because I was doing the Road to China Light, but you did not.
No.
Sorry. Continue on. Brain, function. Go.
This is going to be a shawl. So this is the Class Act colorway, which is a red, but it's leaning towards, like Megan called it flamingo pink, so like that really deep corally pink, and it's a very mysterious color. When I put it on, like I lay it down if I was to lay it down and photograph it, if I put it on black, it reads red all the way. But if I put it on a lighter background, like gray, maybe not brilliant white, but like a gray or a taupe, then it starts to pick up the coral and so it's a mysterious color. Like I think it's going to be neat because like if you, like, oh, I'm going to wear it with my black today, and then it's going to look very red, but if you like put it on with a lighter color, it's going to look lighter. I don't know.
The characteristic reminds me of my Dark and Stormy, with that kind of, it ended up being like, in certain lights it's very denim-y, and others it's a very dark purple, like with black overtones. It's ephemeral. And
it aspires to be a shawl for my grandmother.
So right now it's just a very nice neck warmer.
Yes, it's been very nice.
Insta shawl.
So, yeah. If only it were that simple. Like,
and you worked with Heather of Highland Handmaids to custom order that.
Yes, she said that I looked at her previous colorways, and she said, "Oh, I am working on a bright red." So she was gonna dye some up and take some photographs, and it's just so different in person. Like, I have 2 different pictures that she had taken of it, and it looks really different in the 2 different pictures, but I don't know that either of them was what I saw in person.
Yeah.
I do love it.
Well, Marigold
is very nice.
Marigold Jen's trick, if you go out to like her Etsy listings, is like sometimes when you photograph yarn individually, it can do that, right? It changes, it's ephemeral, and you don't know quite what it is. But she throws a bunch of them in a pile, and then you can kind of, like, it's almost like the camera can register the colors compared to each other versus just that color with no contrast. Kind of like what you were saying, like with holding it up next to a gray or whatever. So yeah, Marigold Jen takes a pile of yarn picture, and then those generally reflect the color the best.
Yeah, so like over here it looks a little darker.
Dark green,
and then,
light green.
And then it just lightens up as, so
I think that's cool. That'll make a really nice shawl to wear with different coordinating clothes, right? Because it will change. It's kind of like those old shirts, the color temperature shirts. Changes with your
colored body glove. Is that
I
what
don't
they're
remember what they were called. I think they made a comeback a few years ago. I found some of those shops online where you could buy the shirts that
the color change shirts.
yeah.
And then the other thing that I had conspired to get was Roses in HD. I don't think it's a color that she's carried in a while, but it sunk into my brain like a year ago that, oh, that color exists in Highland Handmaids, and I really like it. And then it dawned on me a project that I wanted to do for it, so I had to see if she could dye that up for me. And originally, like in my brain, it was just yellow and pink, and then I contacted her and she said, oh, it's got orange in it too, and I'm like, oh, even better.
Yeah.
Do the original, it's gonna be awesome. So yes, I like Roses in HD. I believe, I mean, this is pow, but once it gets spun up, it's going to probably soften, and then I plan on putting it with like a cream color, so it's probably gonna soften even more when it gets in with that cream and not spin it, but knit when I'm knitting up the garment that I want to knit, and it's not for me, but it's gonna be even more subtle, but so it has to start out this bright to be what I want. So
Perfect.
It's perfect. So thank you so much to Heather, because this was a process. You know, we were just chit-chatting back and forth. She had to order, this is the Superwash BFL, and she didn't have any when we started talking, so she had to order it up.
Sorry.
And then
you told me it was BFL, and then I had to touch it. Don't often touch the raw fiber, but when I do, I choose BFF.
BFFL?
Yes, BFFL. And then I had one purchase that you didn't bring because you were scared of transporting it.
I didn't want to break it. Yay! Jenny the Potter mug. So Megan found the Etsy listing for this online, and she was like, oh Amy, look what I found.
Yes, so she did some buy to order or pre-order slots. She had quite a few of them out there, and they were there for a while, and then they had yarn bowls for a while too, and I don't think those are there anymore. But I chose a green, I have no idea why, little yarn ball, and it's got a black sheep and a white sheep. It's a very nice size. I am kind of like you though. I'm like, it's like the good china, right?
Yeah.
Like, should I use that? What if the kid, like, I'm thinking 5 steps ahead. Like, if I use it and then I go sit here, will the kids knock it over while they're playing Wii Mario Kart? Will they, you know, I'm like playing chess with my Jenny the Potter.
Yeah.
Which it's silly. You must use them. Otherwise, you know, you spend your whole life with a cup that never got used, so you should enjoy it. But yeah, right now it's so special when you do Jenny the Potter. And it got here in like one day. Like, I got the shipping notice and it was here the next day because she's just up in the Twin Cities. So,
mine, I was
you private
persnickety or whatever you want to say. Like I went through her shop and I looked at all of the things that she had previously sold and saw that she made ones with trees on them, and I was like, squee, I want one with a tree on it. And so I private messaged her because her listing was for, you know, the sheep and ball yarn, and if you wanted that, you could pick the color of the sheep and the yarn, and that was the custom order. But I private messaged her when she still had like 15 or so in the shop, and I said, hey, you know, if you don't want to, totally cool, but would you be willing to make one of these that was my a tree, and put one of the like creatures in it, and, you know, surprise me, it'll be fine. And
she said she could make
she
it.
She said I can make that happen. So I got a tree, and it has little yarn balls in it.
I don't know anybody else that loves trees. She knows she did. The real reason she didn't bring it over is because I would steal it.
Probably. So it's got yarn balls of every color in the tree, and the tree has dark greenish leaves. I would say almost like your green yarn. and so it's like at the height of summer.
It's one of those
and
things.
my creature was a bird.
It's one of those things where I'm just kicking myself that I didn't think to private message her and be, I want to customize this.
So I don't know how unique it is to me, but I picked it. So it's so cool.
Yeah, very cool. And very nice. The craftsmanship is very obvious, and it's, yeah.
And again, I tell myself, why did I spend that much money on a mug? Because if you've ever bought one, you know how much they are, and I'm not gonna say how much it was. Why did I spend that much money on a mug?
But it's a Jenny the Butter mug.
I know.
It's beautiful and it's fantastic.
So I looked at it as a mini piece of art, and that's useful. So it's dual, right? It's my little mini piece of art and
vanity,
I can
utility.
use it.
Yep. So then you must use it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I used it the first day. I washed it and put it under the Keurig or whatever and pushed to go. I'm like, I want some coffee in my mug.
Did the coffee taste better in the water mug?
It might have. I don't remember.
A little better. Anyway, we've got just a heads up. Next week we aren't recording, so we will have a hiatus next week. You guys at home are probably like, you guys talk too much. It'd be nice to have that week off. And then retreat news. So I just split my yarn. The sign-ups for teaching a breakout session, or recommending a breakout session, or getting a room set aside so that you can meet up and do something session is at the end of March here. And then we also have an upcoming middle of April deadline. Ooh. Crowning yourself.
I am.
For the t-shirts, which I will be seeing Miss Shannon of Acme next week. Fantastico. What else? The end of March also is, if you are a vendor and you have not paid your booth rental fee and or indicated to us if you will be donating to prizes or giving a monetary donation so that we can purchase prizes. For door prizes is also due at the end of March here. And just general goodness going on. Lots of fun stuff with the swap, and the retreat boards are a fun place to go meet the people that you're going to be spending time in June with.
So we did have a person who's very active out there say, "Where is everybody?"
Yes.
So, if you're coming to the retreat, go out to the boards and start chatting with everybody. And the swap is a good way to get started. If you missed the deadline for that, just go out into the different threads. Like, there's a food thread, and there's, the market, and there's different threads, and just get to know each other.
Yes.
There's an excited chatter thread, and that's where our chatty gal is sitting out there. It's Susan. Hi, Susan. And we want Susan to have some company out there.
Yes.
Go out there and say hello.
Because apparently I don't count.
Yeah.
I talked to Susan and she's like, nobody's talking to me. I'm not that guy. Anyway, Max is now in his upside down head sleep stage. I think he's off camera, but not a whole lot of new news on that front. Still excited to see people signing up for the yarn crawl and the 5K. And Amy and I, rest assured, are still working away on things. Just keeping some of it off camera so that there will be surprises.
Yes. So, and as we get closer, the what do you want to say? The Wish You Were Here will start, which will be, anybody who couldn't make it that we really wish could come, which is all of you. We'll start doing something for, some people have been calling it play at home or whatever you want to say. We'll start doing that. And you'll start hearing more about things we might organize the week the retreat is. And yeah, so we've been talking. There are things in the works.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Amy and I, we like to have things in the works.
Mm-hmm.
As evidenced by Amy's works in progress.
All the time. Anyway.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye, Ukta.